a Pete Primeau fan.
Thank you for having me.
Your fans are like...
What an honor to be here, Pete. You're a legend. You're a rock star.
I'm a legend in my own mind, said my wife.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
I'm Mr. Selling from the Heart. What's this guy, Larry Levine, going to teach me about selling from the heart?
You are one of the most generous and authentic people around, and I think that's why you and your show are so attractive to people.
Welcome to the Pete Primeau Show. It is episode number 210. This will be our Vegas market wrap-up show, and I'm glad you're here. Just a quick reminder, guys and gals, your questions take precedent over everything. Pretty soon, my friend Chris Stone will be asking me questions, but let's pay the bills first. If you haven't bought my book, Sell a Million, what are you waiting for? This one actually is on Amazon right now, and you can buy it. So if you want to learn how to market your business better, this is the book for you. If you see something in that book that you want to implement and you don't know how, call me, 419-560-3169. It is not a trick. I will give you up to a half an hour consultant call to help you implement whatever it is that's near and dear to your heart in that book that you think will make a difference in your business. And I'd like to thank Steve and Greg of the Mattress Industry Network Group and Midas for sponsoring the show. If you want to learn how to build, market, sell, and succeed in the mattress industry, this is the place for you. It's 100% free. It's our Facebook group. All you got to do is hit that QR code. I get in there a few times a week. Tell them Pete sent you. Hit that QR code right now. 100% free to join. It's a Facebook group with everybody is in there. So we have sales pros that work the retail floor. We have a lot of store owners. We have a lot of owners of manufacturing companies. We have VPs of sales. We have sales reps in there. If you just want to get into a group where you can meet other people that are not your direct competitors and learn more about the business, this is the place for you. Join the Mattress Industry Network group, and I will see you in there. And if you don't know, if you've been under a rock somewhere, Miles and Miles of Retail Selling Greatness is going to publish on February 17th. Is that like 2 weeks? That would be 2 weeks from now. And I get a question all the time. Hey, we've been seeing some people posting. How did they get those books? Those people were part of our launch team, and they received a reader advanced copy of the book. Your book will be much closer to perfect, but nothing is perfect in this world. But this is 43 years of me selling and 10 other authors who are helping round out the information that you need. So if you think it's just me, think again. It's not just me. That book is a collaboration, and I am so happy that Jeff Janakovo, Brent Batterman, Chris Tahaney, Mark Klingenberg, Randy Thompson, and others joined us. It's just, guys, it's basically almost 3 years worth of sales meetings. So if you've ever been stuck on a weekly sales meeting, you don't know what to do, this is the book for you. It is going to help your salespeople sell more today. The minute they put it in their hands and they start to read it and they internalize it, it's not just tactics. It's not just strategy. It's motivation. It's inspiration. It's real life stories. And I think that you'll find it immensely valuable. As I went through the editing process a couple times, I had to stop because I was so proud of what everybody wrote. And I forgot my friend Scott Vaughn. He wrote a great chapter at the end of the first part of the book that was just a whole nother level. And guys and gals, on February 17th, join us here for our book launch party show, and it will go live. It will be on Amazon, and it's going to help you immensely. So without further ado, welcome my host, my producer, my everything, Chris Stone. Anybody that's out there, you're thinking about doing a podcast and you don't want to do all the editing and all the grunt work, just call my man, Chris Stone, and his team at Cast Ahead, because that's the only way I would ever do this. I've done it twice now, and this second time I got smart. I actually show up for an hour a week, and that's it. I don't spend 20 more hours or 30 more hours trying to edit something that I have no skill level at. So leverage your time. If you're a store owner, if you own a manufacturer, you guys all need to have podcasts. I would hope that by the end of my career, which should not be much longer, if I get 10 more years out of this, I'll be amazed. But you guys should all have podcasts. I've been saying this since I wrote my book in 2015, my very first book. You need to have a podcast, and you don't need to have a big audience, and you don't need thousands and thousands of views. What you need is hundreds of good views of potential customers that want to do business with you because they get to know you better. So sorry, I'm going on and on. Chris, what you got, man?
Pete Primeau, as I live and breathe. You know, I was thinking about, the name of your new book, Miles and Miles of Retail Selling Greatness. I was like, how can I emulate that for podcasting? Like maybe bits and bytes of podcasting. No, that's not how that works. But thank you for the kind words, my friend.
The tears and jeers.
Right.
Because I remember crying trying to edit things. And I always saw that little bell shape. That was like my nemesis. It's a bell shape. I can tell you exactly what it looks like on a graph from my failed expertise on editing. But I know the minute I see it on a little graph.
You know the best way to edit ums? There's a little insider secret for everyone. That's so everyone lean in. Here's if you're doing a podcast and you want to be able to edit out the ums, here's the best way to do it. Don't say There's a little tip for everyone.
And you are the gift that never stops giving, my friend. Thank you for that.
No, this is great, Pete. And you talked about your career and, like maybe not much longer, but the great thing about all this stuff that you're creating, your podcast, your books, all of the content, let's just call it, that you're creating is creating a legacy. And so even after you've decided to fold up shop and, cheer for the Ohio State Buckeyes every Saturday, and to go back to taking up powerlifting, which we know is not happening. Even after we're gone.
I don't know. If you ask my wife, it's not happening. If you ask me, all I would say is you just never know.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I mean, how many people that you follow, read books, watch content for might not be on this earth? Probably more than you think, whether it's Jim Rohn or whether it's Zig Ziglar or that, and we could probably name a handful of people. They have a legacy. And so that's what this does. And so I'm excited to be able to do this with you because, I have a bit of a thumbprint on it. And we've got Andrew Burt in the house on LinkedIn. Hey, fellas, great seeing you this Monday morning. Pete, great seeing you in LV, Las Vegas. What a segue, Andrew Burt, because we're about to talk about LV, Las Vegas. And for those that are listening on your podcast player only, on replay, We're going to be showing some pictures, and we're going to talk about them as much as possible. But if you are looking for a more immersive experience on this Vegas wrap-up show, Vegas Market wrap-up show, be sure to go to Pete Primeau on YouTube, and that's where the Pete Primeau Show is broadcasted. And it is broadcasted on LinkedIn, like where Andrew's joining us, as well as on Facebook as well. So we're trying to get this in as many tubes as we can, but wherever you enjoy podcasts, Pete Primeau Show is there. And this is going to be somewhat of a visual show because, Pete, you saw all kinds of stuff because I saw hundreds of pictures over the last few days.
Yeah, we narrowed it down a little bit.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. So how busy were you? Was this and how would you compare this market to past markets? Was it busier? Was it not as busy? Were things how busy was it for you?
So for me, it was absolute insanity. There were many dealers that didn't make appointments that I just flat out did not see. Couldn't see. I was too busy. So this is what I would say about market. And I've said this a few times, and if you've heard this for the third time, I apologize. But I thought it was busier inside the showrooms than it was in the hallways. And I know that doesn't make sense, but I would say this, after having talked to more people now, I probably talked to north of 100 people that were there now. It wasn't that way everywhere. Like at BIA, it was a absolute madhouse. At BedTech, an absolute madhouse. And at DreamFit, it was absolute insanity. But there were some spaces that did not get as much traffic, and they thought it was a average market, below average market. They were in the minority, like dramatically in the minority. I think most people thought it was really a good market. One of the things about this market, and I'm going to kind of tag on to what I heard my friend Scott Vaughn say in his Mattress Minutes today. The attitudes of everybody were through the roof, extraordinarily positive. So that's how I'll remember this market. I'll remember it as a market where I got to meet a bunch of people like Andrew. Thank you for meeting me. Michelle Z, thank you for introducing yourself. Blake, it was great to run into you between build-ins. I wish I had more time to talk to you. And there was at least a half a dozen other people that I met. I just can't remember their name right now. So what I'll take away from this market, extraordinarily positive, good traffic, and super, it was super great for somebody like me that knows a lot of people on social media, but I don't always get a chance to meet them in person. And so that is a great thing for me to meet somebody. What would have been an even better thing was to broken some bread with them and ask them a few questions about their business and get to know them. I love origination stories, Chris. I love to find out a store owner's journey, or even a veteran in the industries, their journey, because we all have different journeys. But it's amazing to me, Chris, of how many similarities there are between our journeys that really tie us together as human beings.
You know, the best way to find out about their journeys is, right, Pete? Have them on the Pete Primeau Show. Then they can talk all about the journeys, and we could share that with. It reminds me of when we had RJ and Tara on from Jacksonville Benning. I mean, that just a great story of how, you know, they work in that community, and you know, and speaking of community, we have Ben McClure here from Gardner's Mattress and More, and he says, I spent a few hours with Pete, hours, all capital hours. He's shouting hours at you, Pete. I spent a few hours with Pete in Vegas and saw a bunch of great products. So this kind of segues into what I kind of, you know, I really want to kind of get and dig into is get your thoughts on, like, you know, I guess what were the dealers most excited about?
Wow, That's a really great question. So at BIA specifically, we overhauled our Glacier collection. We renamed it the Ice Collection. We added split heads to it. And that's the one thing product wise that was consistent. Everybody's jumping on the bandwagon for split heads. I've told some slow to change retailers 3 years ago, you got to get on this. No, I think it's a fad. It's 3 years later, dudes and dudettes. It's not a fad. Get on board. Why do you think every time you go to market, there's more and more companies offering split heads? We started off with one split head, and now we have 45 different split heads. By the way, that was one of the great surprises of the market. Instant Comfort is a little teeny tiny space, but boy, did they pack a punch with innovation. And they had just great new beds. And what they did is they really showcased their pedigree in the smart bed business. They've been at it since 1983 when they developed the first number business. Those are pumps that they've created over the years. And there were hand carved control units before they were ever made into plastic. You'll see them right there at the bottom to the left. They were hand carved in wood control units. So Instant Comfort really was special. And the cool thing about them is they have most of their products are made in advance. So basically they're slapping a label on and you're getting them like right away. So there's no need to stock any inventory. You'll have it within a week. So that was very, I will say this, hands down, B930 Instant Comfort Space, I think it was their best market ever. And I think it was that by more than double. Talked to Jack Miller over the weekend or on Friday, well, text. And, he's so excited because, he's a young guy's taking the business over with his brother Colin, and Craig is starting to step back a little bit and letting these young guys just really go after the business. And he was so excited that he had so many people to follow up on. He couldn't thank me enough, and I couldn't have been more pleased with a company. And if you were to ask me, what was the biggest surprise, it would be a tie between that and DreamFit. DreamFit announced that they were going to offer 3 mattresses, and they've never offered mattresses before. Pretty much universally, people agree the best sheets are DreamFit sheets. The best protectors are DreamFit protectors. Neither one are cheap. Neither, they're at the top of the price points in the industry, but they're just insanely great products. And so what are the chances of somebody rolling out 3 mattresses that would be meaningful, have a meaningful story, and actually have a patent behind it so that nobody could duplicate it or knock it off? And what they did is they came out with 3 mattresses that really had a flavor of a Stearns and Foster visually, felt great, looked great. They were great values at $14.99, $17.99 in Quinesa retail prices, and $19.99. They were great values without the ground-in sleep system. And with the ground-in sleep system, it's a whole nother level of, and if you don't know, yes, Scott, thank you. Scott Vaughn says the new packaging by DreamFit is fantastic. And might I add, that is the best, hands down, the best DreamFit dealer in a 7-state area that I'm responsible for. So thank you, Scott. Vernon Williams.
Speak of the devil, were your
also
ears burning, RJ?
Also known as RJ. Happy Monday to all. Going to be an amazing February for everyone after a strong market. Yes, it is. Thank you for your positivity, brother. And thank you for the hugs, man. Uh, Karen Converse, fellow
Hey,
rep
Karen.
with me. Yes, the Dream Fit showroom was absolutely stunningly beautiful. Um, there is a slide at the very beginning. Yeah, so that's Dream Fit. When you walk into Dream Fit, that's what you see. The luxury of rest, that is our new tagline. That is what we as Dream Fit dealers are going to be talking about, what we as Dream Fit reps are going to be talking about, and what executive management is going to be talking about. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on this, RJ. RJ Williams says Dream Fit was a surprise of the show. New packaging looked great, and those mattresses felt great. Absolutely, they did. They were home run feels. I think they have a hit on their hands. Absolutely, 100%. And I got to say, Challen Martin, our new president, um, he had his hands full. I mean, I think he came on board like 7 or 8 weeks ago. And for him to get all of this stuff across the goal line for market, just an insane effort. And I know Haley Brooks was a big part of that. And I'm sure the entire team jumped in. Kenny, Haley, Jerry, and Jeremy were all in there lifting and making sure. So this whole grounding thing is amazing. Um, Strength athletes and endurance athletes swear by grounding systems, and basically it's getting all that static electricity that's in your body out, and it does this through graphene. um, and that graphene is woven into the fabric that we actually weave ourselves at Dream Fit. It's also in the graphene infused memory foam, and those actually form a crisscross pattern like a grid um, on the mattress. Then there are grounding sheets, and there's a grounding protector. So those three things together give you a sleep system that removes that static electricity out of your body while you sleep. And it sounds like hocus pocus, like lift your eyebrow up. And
Right.
my dear friend, Nicole at Happy Z's, she is like lifting her eyebrow up at me. And I said, I believed everything you believed. I thought this was BS. I thought it was hocus pocus. So I asked the smartest guy in the mattress industry, Jeff Giannakovo. And Jeff said that he got grounding sheets about 2 months ago, and he loves them. They've made a difference. He sleeps better. He has like less aches and pains when he wakes up. So he is getting a better night's sleep. He is feeling more rejuvenated. And that's a great shot of what we do and things that we do. No little teeny tiny samples. We want big samples that Mrs. Jones can really feel and touch and really understand what she's getting, so that maybe in your store you show 2 to 3 sets of sheets, but we have all the sheets on display for you if you want them, so that you can sell everything that we make. So thank you for showing that. But yeah, to RJ's point, I have never in my life seen such dialed in firmnesses. Like each firmness was perfect for its price point. And it was like a good, better, best story that if you actually like took Mrs. Jones and you put like duct tape on her eyes, and then you just took duct tape and you put it on the salesperson's mouth, nobody could talk, right? And you just lay the person on the beds, Mrs. Jones would step herself up based on how well merchandise these 3 beds are. I mean, they are must-haves for everybody and anybody. Unless you're super, super low end, a super dirty window store, and then you're not a Dream Fit customer anyway. We're medium to higher end for everybody, but anybody that really looked at those beds and laid on them, they were home runs. I mean, RJ is right. I mean, that was really a star of the show. So I'm glad you jumped in there, RJ, and kind of pushed me over the edge on that one.
I was a little afraid where you were going with the second set of duct tape, but
Yeah.
if it's going over the salesperson's mouth. Yeah, let the customer tell you. Don't talk too much.
Yep.
Ask questions and shut up. Right. And
Yeah, there's a lot of lessons in there, right?
yeah,
But your merchandising has to be on point. One of the most important things that Chalon Martin, our new president, said is these beds have to hunt without the grounding story. For the price point, the look, the feel of the bed, the impact of the bed, in a showroom of competitors, it has to look and feel great, and it has to compete. And then when you incorporate the grounding story and the health benefits that you generate, then it becomes just an absolute home run after that.
Ben McClure, Gardner's Mattress and More customer. Sir, is that duct tape? Me. Yes. Pete said it was okay to use with customers.
And by the way, just for everyone's information, Ben and I did spend hours together, and he scheduled those hours. He gave me those appointments. And then on top of it, it was kind of funny because at the Mattress Industry Network dinner, there was an open spot, and Ben plopped down. So I got to see him a little bit more, which was great. So thanks, Ben.
That's the most comments we've ever gotten on a live stream from Ben McClure. So he must really have been excited about market. So Pete, we talked about what the dealers were excited about, and you have talked about your own, opinions and what you're most excited about. But like your team, Primeau Furniture Sales, like what were you and they most excited about?
Wow. So the team was super excited about the Dream Fit mattresses, the Dream Fit new packaging, and also the new protectors that will provide our dealers with more margin. They were super excited because it kind of shored up some areas where we needed improvement. And not only did we improve, but like we leapfrogged years ahead of ourselves. So I don't know if we're going to double our business or triple it or quadruple it this year, but Dream Fit is going to be in for a very steep growing curve, and it's going to take it's going to take everybody's effort to get all the business out, because I see already, Chris, I see people placing more orders just based on their excitement and what they've seen. So definitely, I would say it was Dream Fit, but also BedTech had some imported Italian memory foam pillows that were just an unbelievable value. And that's really what BedTech does. It's better merchandise at lower than expected prices and just incredible service. I mean, that's who BedTech is fundamentally. And they really delivered on these Italian memory foam pillows. There was a shoulder cutout pillow that was proportioned perfectly. And then there were 3 other pillows, all excellent. And then they improved their line, their X4s and their X5, which means nothing to the average person, but to a dealer who carries BedTech, those will now have Bluetooth, and they will be on the app that the consumer can download on any iPhone or any Android. And so those were, kind of rolling improvements at BedTech. But the star of the show at BedTech were those Italian imported memory foam. And thank you, Andrew. That means a lot from a professional like you. Yeah, the Dream Fit I knew what you meant, brother. The Dream Fit boxes were really just, they were beautiful. And I love when companies actually understand and recognize the fact that we serve a clientele of 25 to 54-year-old women, and we need to get women involved in the design of products. We need to get them involved in the design for the packaging, and we need to get them involved in every aspect, including the selling of the goods. I mean, it's surprising to me that our industry, which primarily serves women, uh, we don't have more
Mm.
great women leaders in our industry. And it was, you could just tell uh, that we had redesigned the packaging, but it really was more masculine. And Chalin just came in, our new president, and said, let's just go from ground zero. Like, what would a woman want? Does she want this gray and white and black packaging, or would she like a little color? Would she like a little more elegance? Would she like something where the box even felt better in the hand? And that's what we ended up going with. So I was super happy, super stoked. And so was my sales team. So sales team would say Dream Fit packaging, Dream Fit mattresses, Dream Fit new protectors. And then they would say bed tech, the upgrades that they did to the existing models for the adjustable beds, but the Italian memory foam pillows that had cold to the touch covers, absolute home run, huge home run.
Awesome. So for those of you who are watching, and we've got a lot of watchers here on the live, any questions or comments, please pop them in. You take precedent over these questions I'm going to ask, because it's me. You don't want to hear me yapping. We'd rather talk to the people. So let us know if you've got any questions or comments. Thanks to those who have already: Ben, Andrew, RJ, Scott Vaughn, Karen, a lot of folks here on the live. If you got any questions or comments, let us know what you thought made the biggest impact. And I'll ask Pete this, but I'd love to hear from the chat as well. Pete, what was the biggest surprise? Like, what floored you? What was like you showed up and you were like, I had no idea that this.
So Stu said, in the Stu Carlitz was super, super, super generous to me. And he wrote a beautiful foreword to my book. And one of the things that he said in the book is, after 40 years, you start seeing things differently. And there's good to that, and there's bad to that as well. And I was really, I'm just going to be, it's like I'm going into a confessional right now. So don't throw the whole rosary at me, people. But in my mind, there was no way on God's green earth that Chalin Martin was going to hit a grand slam home run out of the gate with those 3 mattresses at Dream Fit. There was no way. It's not possible. But he did it, and his team did it. And if he was on the thing right now and he was watching this, he would say, it's not just me. It was everybody. And a lot of people that were part of that. But there's no way to go into the mattress business and on your first crack at the plate not whiff. No way. Not only did he not whiff, in my mind, that's a grand slam home run. So that was the biggest surprise. The memory foam pillows from BedTech, also a surprise. I was somewhat familiar. Some of my dear friends, Rick Lynch, Larry Sirocca, had carried those Italian memory foam pillows out of this particular factory before. And I just thought, there's no way they're going to get this thing right the first time. They got it right the first time. They really did. BedTech did a great job on those pillows. I'm super proud of them.
And Gordon Hecht is in the house. Hello, sir. Retailers, he says, reach out to your DreamFit customers from the last 3 years. Make sure they know about this new upgrade.
Yeah. You know, Gordon, this is what I love about you. You are like a PhD level guy when it comes to sales experience in this industry, but you never forget about the basics and you never let us forget about the basics. So thank you, Gordon. You're 100% right. All of us DreamFit reps, those of us that are blessed to be on this ride with DreamFit, we got to make sure all of our customers know what's going on. And today, in today's world, my fellow reps, one email is not enough. It needs to be an email, a text, another email, a phone call, an in person. You can't over communicate in today's world. And the reason why is because, and you know, Chris, you do a lot of podcasts. You see a lot of people in various levels of expertise, but we know for a fact, scientifically, that the attention span of a human being today has greatly diminished over 5 years ago, over 10 years ago, and most certainly over 20 years ago. So the days of sending one email and going, done, no, nope, not good enough. Until they repeat it back to you, they don't know. And, you know, it's super important to communicate changes and improvements and to make sure that your company got full credit for those changes and those improvements, and then translate it all the way over what it means to you as a retailer. You're going to sell more products, you're going to have more velocity, more sell through, and you're going to be able to get more markup as well. And it's something that excites our sales force, which, remember, the first sale that you make as a store owner is to your sales force. If your salespeople are excited about the new changes, then they're going to go out there and they're going to be super excited, and they are going to show that product to more people. And I know what you're saying. Oh, my people show sheets and protectors to everybody. No, they don't. No, they don't. When you're not looking, a lot of times they don't show them. And if everybody effectively showed sheets, showed pillows, and showed protectors to every customer that walked through, we would have a different level of satisfaction with our customers. They would be much happier, because we know, study after study over the last 10 years, customers that get complete sleep systems with an adjustable bed, with a protector, with sheets, and with pillows are much happier with their quality of sleep and the experience that they had with the store that they bought it at. So sorry to go off on a tangent, Chris, but Gordon does that to me. He's special.
Scott Vaughn's in the house, and he says, Scott Bidwell and Trellis Marketing built a tremendous follow-up tool to take the pressure off the RSA. Put in the info and it does the follow-up process for you. Easy peasy. Yeah.
And, you know, Scott, thank you for saying that, because I've had some customers that have recently reached out to Scott, and they're starting to implement some of these tools, and they cannot believe the difference it's making in their business. And for those of you out there who are going to sit on your hands and you're not going to do anything, and you're going to sit there and say, well, Scott Vaughn's just trying to sell something, just helping out his buddy Scott Bidwell sell a tool that, you know, there's, you know, when you automate a process, you lose the personal touch. Well, part of the automation process, I just happen to know because I've been to the masterclass where this tool is explained twice now. It involves your RSA picking up the phone and calling your customer. It's actually built into the system. So check that out. Scott, if you would throw a link in there for everybody, that would be wonderful. And Scott Bidwell, I'm hoping that you're feeling better. That's one surprise. So here's the deal. Right before I went to market, I felt like, yeah, maybe I'm getting a little cough. And like, I'm Felix from The Odd Couple. Like, right? Like, so I know like RJ, Tara, you guys are too young. You're not gonna even know who The Odd Couple is. Well, watch an old rerun of The Odd Couple. I'm Felix. I am the hypochondriac. Okay. I am. And so I thought I was getting sick a little bit. And so this is what I did. I said, I kind of made this little protocol. And what I did is I took Airborne every morning and every night before I went to bed, and I didn't get sick. And almost everybody I know got sick. So I don't know. Maybe I should become an Airborne affiliate or something. But anyway, that was a surprise to me. There was a lot of crud going on, and it's all different stuff. It's not just one thing. I'm hearing neurovirus. I'm hearing flu. I'm hearing COVID. I'm hearing just a smattering of a lot of different things. So anybody that's feeling under the weather, and I happen to know that Scott wasn't feeling great, Scott Bidwell, feel better. Don't forget to hydrate. Zinc, vitamin C. Andy Anderson, since when are you the Airborne rep? I know, brother, 100%.
It's an added value with the purchase of a pillow.
Yeah, Andy, I'm just a passionate guy, and whether there's something in it for me or not, if it's good advice, I pass it on. So there you go.
Scott Vaughn says, if I had only done what you did, Pete, I'm trying to get over the Vegas sickness too.
I'm sorry to hear that, Scott Vaughn. That's yeah, you're not alone, brother. A lot of sickness.
And we do have a comment that came in here from Jacksonville Bedding, Mattress and More. Facts, we're all guilty of not pushing the whole, and I think maybe selling sleep system. Maybe, I don't know. It's just S. And yeah, sometimes,
is that you, Tara?
The thumbs get.
Or is that RJ?
But yeah, back to that process. But Pete, we are already 42 minutes into the show, and there's a lot more. At least there's a lot more. There's a lot more pictures that I have to go to. So let's.
So guys and gals, that's code for you made me upload all these dang pictures. We're gonna show every cotton picking one of them.
I know, Pete. When you and I had this conversation this weekend, we talked about this, the Eclipse Ice, and you seem to be very, very excited.
Absolute home run. I was. Steve Carnes, who's in Cabo right now, who's one of the hardest working men in the mattress business. Steve calls it the yes bed. So it's based loosely, well, very specifically on our old Glacier collection, which we kind of sunsetted for the ice. Has some of the same covers. It has the Everest cover, the McKinley cover, and the Washington cover. But what we added to it is we added the ability for it to have a split head on it, 3 different firmnesses. So instead of one firmness, and maybe you're lucky if you had 2, each level has 3 firmnesses. Has a Euro top, which is the softest, a plush, which is kind of a medium, and then the firm, which is really truly firm. And renamed them. We kept some of the great things about them. We kept the Tufton. We kept the sewn-on handles that are, I love it when companies that, charge 2 to 3 times as much money as we charge for our products, they go, well, we have this special machine and, you can't rip the handles out. Yeah, we got it too. It's the same machine. And if you look at it, you can see the same pattern in it, same machine. And then we added the split heads in the queen and the king. But we did one better. Because sometimes you may not get this every day, but you have relatives that you love them, right? They're a brother, a sister, a grandma, an aunt, an uncle, they want to buy a bed from you and you want them to have the best, right? But there's no way to get it there without costing yourself $600 to $1,000 in shipping. And so all these beds in the new ice collection are roll packable. And so they can be shipped out for, around $80 for a queen and around $100 to $120 for a king. So
Nice.
they're incredible beds, absolute home runs, and everybody that saw them everyone has expanded their lineup with us based on these beds. And the thing that they love, we went from a gray border to a lighter border that really kind of picks up on the lighter colors. And everyone said, it looks more like ice too. So, and it does. So we were super happy. And again, here's my 43 years in the industry, like hurting me because I wasn't necessarily the most positive guy before I laid on those beds. But when I laid on them, I knew, I knew it was money. But the difference between the thing with Dream Fit is now Chalon Martin, our new president, he's a mattress guy. So shouldn't really surprise me that he got it right. And it shouldn't have surprised me at all at BIA because we have so much talent. It's ridiculous. There's like a way over 1,000 years of talent. And when a guy like Steve Carnes looks at me and he tells me, "You're going to love the new Ice, Pete. You're absolutely going to love it. It's going to help your dealers. They're going to sell more. They're going to make more money. They're going to have more options." That was the understatement of the year that Steve made. So the ice really was special. It really was.
Awesome. So next up that we have here, as I flip some things around,
Sure.
is, let me get to it, Harvest, I believe. There we go.
So this is a fascinating story. And there are some changes that are really super positive for Harvest that I'll get into. But that sign is made out of real moss. So, you want to talk about an all natural story. You want to talk about organic. Well, even the sign that we put in our showroom was organic and natural. So the big news on the Harvest is everything is 100% roll packable now. There were a few beds that weren't. When you went into Kings, you were pushing up on the weight limit, and sometimes it would go over the weight limit to put it in a box. They reconfigured the entire collection so that it all falls very neatly into the Harvest bed in the box designation that it originally had, but we kind of got away from it because our Kings were just too heavy and we didn't fully figure that out. But we've got it dialed in now. We're throwing more assets. This is something I'm super excited about. Our organic latex. So, you've got combination latex that, is part synthetic, part natural. Then you have all natural, and then you have organic. And then a level above organic is gold certified organic, which is a European standard that is the gold standard for the world in latex. And that's what our latex beds are built from, with a new cold to the touch cover that everybody seemed to really enjoy. Some unique feels. Our firm latex beds are firmer than previously. So we've got a broader range of feels than we've had in the past. And there are a lot of retailers that do get into latex. They miss the firm feels. They're just not quite firm enough. Our firms are firm enough, and they hit that right out of the park on our Embrace solid organic latex Oh man, oh man. I could go on and on for hours about this. So, guys, we started off going deeper into Eastman House, which was started in 1866, and it's a legacy brand that is known for quality. And Eastman House, with their new collection, just hit the ball right out of the park. Copper infused memory foam, over 2 inches altogether, right on top, cold to the touch. Cover, the coldest to the touch cover in the industry, and the most expensive cover in the entire showroom. We didn't make it in a plush or just a firm. We also added a medium. So whether your customer wants the softest feel or the hardest feel, or they want the just right Goldilocks feel, the one in the middle, we have it. And the value to the industry on that is just through the roof because it's publicly available. I'm not going to go into the details, but you call me or text me and ask me how much that 14-inch thick bed costs. And it's every bit of a $19.99 to $24.99 retail at just incredible margins, which is something these days all of our dealers need. It's one of the things that our dealers have to have. They have to have quick delivery. They have to have quality products that stay sold in the house. And they have to have more markup because being successful in business today is more expensive than it's ever been. There's more things you need to do to separate yourself from your competition, and it comes from your margin. If you don't have enough margin in your products, you can't rise above the other competitors in your marketplace. But that's the medium right there, that absolute home run bed.
This is the Goldilocks. Is that what you called it?
Yeah, that's a Goldilocks. That's the one that's in between the firm and the plush, which we showed. But, beautiful beds that felt great, that had a great story. There's so many companies out there, they put a half an inch of memory foam in and they act like they're doing something. Then they get real proud of themselves when they put an inch in. That's 2 inches of copper infused memory foam. So it's substantial. And it feels substantial. And when a customer lays down on this product with the sewn-in cloth handles that have the same sewn-in cloth handles that guys at $10,000 and $15,000 retail have,
wow,
just incredible value. I can't say enough about that bed. That's called the Heritage Luxe, and that's going to be an absolute home run.
So Pete, I saw this picture and I'm curious about this because this picture actually, for those of you who are listening, you'll have to watch this on video, which is available on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. But this thing looks crazy. It looks like it's zebra stripes going on. This is pretty busy going on. Can you unpack what's going on in this one?
Yeah, so that is a cold to the touch cover. So we first rolled out beds that were what we call our 5-pack beds, which are diagnostic beds. The one in the middle, the 3, which you'll see in the back corner there, that is the one that's right smack in the middle. If 0 is the hardest bed you ever laid on, or 0 is the softest bed you ever laid on, and 5 is the firmest bed you ever laid on, that 3 is right smack in between. The 1 is the softest bed in the line, and then the 2 is right in the middle. And then on the other side, you've got the 4 and the 5. And I cannot believe how many people are buying those 4s and 5s. 5 is basically a board, and the 4 is that really nice cushion firm that's between the medium and the board. So what this is Thank you, Andrew. That means a lot coming from a pro like you. Beds look great. Love this for our industry. So this is a step up um, from the original collection, and it's cold to the touch. The original covers were not cold to the touch. This is for a retailer that um, wants to retail beds between $14.99 and $19.99. That's kind of where they would like their people to start, and they can go up or they can go down from there. Um, and it's for stores that have customers that appreciate and they like cold to the touch covers. So, and yes, this is not necessarily my cup of tea in terms of decor, but it's striking on a floor. And one of the things that I always say to my dealers is it may not be your cup of tea that you'd have in your house, but if it gets attention on the floor and it wakes your salespeople up and it wakes the retail customer up, then it's serving a purpose. And sometimes you need to take you need to take a shot on some products that are outside of your comfort zone. And certainly this is not my cup of tea, like I said before.
Well, I mean, to your point, it got my attention, right?
Yeah.
And I think I think to your point, it's like, hey, take a shot, right? And yes, you mentioned earlier, you're marketing to Mrs. Jones, right? And maybe this is visually aggressive, maybe, and maybe is slightly more masculine, I guess is the word. But I mean, if it grabs your attention and it gets you over there, and it gets somebody laying on it, I mean, that's really all that matters because your eyes are closed when you're on this thing anyway, right?
So there's a whole chapter in my new book about the selling system, and basically what it does for you as a retailer is it helps you to target a price point that maybe you're not super successful at. And then you put these beds there and the customer is involved in a selection process. It's super easy. Mrs. Jones, lay on that. Is that perfect? Or would you like it a little plusher? Or would you like it a little firmer? I'd like it a little firmer. Okay, try this one. Would you like it a little firmer or is that just right? No, I think I might like it a little firmer. They try the brick and they bounce right back to the number 4 and they go, that's the one for me. It's a quick, easy sell. And sometimes she might ask about a technology. Well, I really like the feel of this bed, but like, do you have memory foam or do you have latex? And then you put them into the bed that feels like that with the technology that they want. So that is the beauty of that selling system. It's quick. It's easy. We had a situation with a customer that carried Tempur-Pedic, and they went through the technology. They went through their technology selling, and they exposed them to a smart bed, which most commonly features air, and it's a number bed that has choices to it. Then they tried a latex, they tried a memory foam, and they tried a hybrid. They chose Tempur-Pedic memory foam. They couldn't find the perfect one. Well, it just so happened that we had a 5-pack of Curve beds, which is our version of Tempur-Pedic, which actually is better. And I don't have time to get into why it's better, but it's better. And she went through that process and she literally took the sale away from the salesperson. She tried the softest one. She says, no, I want it a little firmer. Well, I'll try one a little firmer. No, that's too firm. I want this one right here. It was over. It was like over, and it was like a $3,000 sale. And so those beds are diagnostic beds, and that's their purpose. It helps a good salesperson perform at a level higher. So it makes good salespeople great, and it makes an average salesperson good. And that's something that is a huge thing today, because there's not a lot of studs and studettes walking around asking for jobs. They have found homes. They're making a great living where they're at. They're not going anywhere. So how do we do more business with average salespeople? And that answers that question. That selling system helps good average salespeople become good and good become great just because of this easy selling system that really involves the customer. Oh my Lord, where did this hour go?
And great. You forgot one thing when you went through, great become elite, right? I learned that from you last
Oh
week.
man, you are a student of the game.
Well,
I got to tell you, Scott
yeah.
Vaughn's got to be very, very proud of you. That's the Nick Saban.
Be elite.
Yeah, elite.
So
we
Pete,
got to be elite.
We're rounding the corner here at the end, but we do have one final slide, and this one has got to make everybody smile who's still tuned in. This gentleman starts out the intro video by saying that he is a Pete Primeau fan, right?
And I am a Steve Carnes fan. There's not a more positive guy in our industry. It's better. I think he's rounding 45, 46 years. So he's got me slightly beat. And I just love talking to him. I love being around him, watching him work. He has a chapter in this book, and it works around this Fab Five concept, this diagnostic concept that helps salespeople become more effective in a very short period of time without paying a ton of money in a diagnostic system that has a monthly rent due on it. So, or you have to put beds on your floor that won't sell and can't sell because some of the manufacturers that have those diagnostic beds, the beds are not very sellable. So that's a great way to end it. So Steve is in Cabo with Lori, his lovely wife, who's just great people, and it was wonderful to spend some time with them at market.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks, Pete. Pete, sign us off. All right, hey, what happens if you say thanks and go sell 1 million after your new book comes out? Are you gonna have a new a new sign off like thanks and go sell?
Nope.
Great. Go sell.
So I'm going to do a double sign off.
Oh,
hey, go forward and sell 1 million this week and be great. Be great. Doesn't get any simpler than that.
I love it. I love it. Be great, everyone. Take care. Have a great week.